How's it going, everybody? My name is Benjamin Hunter, and welcome to the Black and Tan Holiday Party. We're going to feature some local artists and craft vendors. We're going to have some performances from some of our Black and Tan Hall partners. And we're going to give you some updates on what's going on under the hood over here at 5608. And let you guys know that we're still here, and we got a lot of exciting updates for you. So, thanks for coming to tonight's event. We got some great stuff for you planned. But first, we'd like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish people, a people that are still here, continuing to honor and bring to light their ancient heritage. Today, we have three featured artists. Amaranta Ibarra Sandis, Betty Allen, and Malia from Melted Porcelain. And these three women share a bunch of the same taste for color and mood, but they all kind of come at it from a different approach and a different style. There's handcrafted lamps from Betty. There's ceramic jewelry, porcelain jewelry from Malia, and then a variety of paintings and pictures and posters and murals from mixed media artist Amaranta. Let's go ahead and get started with a little music first to kick this whole thing off. This is a song that was written by one of our partners, Sean Devine, who's going to be here featured playing harmonica. And this song is called Turtle and Lynx, and it features yours truly. And on bass, we got one of our other partners, Camilo Estrada. Check it out. All right. So up next is an interview. One of our artists. We try and do these interviews with artists so that you guys can get a little glimpse of more than just the product. But often, when we're floating around at real markets, we talk to the artist and we talk to the person behind the table, and get an idea of what some of the processes are, and just who this person is that you're buying their goods from. So here's one of our interviews with one of our artists, Malia. I caught her while she was in her studio over at Mount Baker Art Space. It's her brand new studio. She's just moved in. She's just got the place. One of the commercial spaces on the bottom that's facing Rainier. And you need to go check out her shop when she gets it open. Melted Porcelain. Originally, she was a fashion designer. And she's been doing porcelain jewelry for maybe about 3 years or so, and it's really dope. So I won't say any more. I'll just go straight to the interview so you get to hear from there. Check it out. Well, how are you?
I'm really good. I'm super happy. I actually just signed a lease on a commercial workspace about a week ago. So I'm in my workspace and getting set up. It's going to be like a clothing making / repair community place, and I'm going to be able to do my ceramic jewelry here, and then also maybe open it up to have some gallery events or parties or music too. So it's so cool. I'm really happy.
This holiday party is not just showcasing local vendors and local artists. How do we uplift the creative economy, and how do we bring attention to just how crucial and vital all this work is?
You can be an artist anywhere, doing your art anywhere, and with however many or few resources that you have, like that's the spirit of being an artist, right?
What do you think is the role of the creative moving forward?
I think the role of the creative has always been kind of the same throughout time, no matter, lean, feast or famine times, brings conversations to people's lips. And it's also a place of support and a place of refuge. I think it's also a sign of hope. Being a part of community is a thing that people miss a lot. One thing that helped me so much, and I would say,
yeah, I agree.
Feels good. It's about damn time.
It's about damn time. Yeah, and it comes in waves, right? I mean, I think in so many aspects of our various cultures around the world, before we industrialized or before we got so advanced that it took us out of kind of those natural interactions with art, right? What role does heritage play in your craft?
My background is I'm Hawaiian, and every time I go back to Hawaii, there's a lot of colors, it's just like sensory, it's so lush and rich and vibrant and full of colors, right? So I've grown up here in Washington State, being part of a multicultural family, and it's just so gray and so earthy here. And I've always been drawn to like bright, crazy colors, like high school bright, all my life bright, crazy colors. And then I'm like the kid wearing red and everybody else is wearing gray, and like, and I just never felt like I fully fit in to the landscape here, the natural landscape here, amid all the neutrals and the grays and whatnot. So
why the term melted?
I've got my clay, I mix the colors, I roll it out. So all the colors that you see in my pieces, they're randomly placed and then they just kind of mush and melt together. So as I make the things, all these layers are stacked, they just kind of roll out, they get melted. And then I imagine the things in the kiln when they're firing, they kind of, like a cookie, they kind of bake down a little and melt out. Yeah, that's why. Not very like deep or whatever. It's just, sometimes you just do a thing.
You started off as a fashion designer, or your background is in fashion design, and,
yeah.
You mentioned that you just kind of got into porcelain, but why did you get into porcelain? What about it?
Well, I basically, so with my clothing line, I was using vintage, specifically vintage polyester fabric. So the reason why I was using polyester is because one, super bright and colorful, and two, nobody wanted it. So I would go to estate sales, to thrift stores, and they were always the thing. And I thought they were beautiful and they were in the discount bin. So part of my fashion line is to do that zero waste, like something out of nothing approach. And it got me far enough, like, and I still do it. It's cool. And I'm going to do that, you know, in the space here that I have. But maybe diamonds, wood, whatever. I wanted to use a different material to make jewelry. And I wanted to use a process that excited me. And I also just wanted to do something that I thought could sell.
Well, thank you so much, Malia, for taking the time to talk to me about your craft and your process and your journey. And I think it's just a really cool thing to get into the mind of creative folks and hear how they get to where they get. So I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having me and for all that you do. And I'm really excited to be a part of the Black and Tan holiday. And I can't wait to just be doing this in person.
One of the other projects that we've got going is a mural project for our front facade of the building. In March and April of this year, we put out a call to artists to design a couple of small mural pieces that will be placed on the front of our building as part of a larger kind of facade design mural scheme. We're really excited to share the two artists that Black and Tan Hall selected for this first contribution. Ray Aquino and Brandon Thomas. Check them out here, and you'll see on the screen all links to their sites. It doesn't take much to see just why we're so excited to work with them. They will be the first of what will be a rotating outdoor gallery, and I'm personally really excited for them to set the tone for this project with their beautiful work. So up next, we've got Bath partner Sadiq Iman doing a performance in front of Black and Tan Hall, so you can kind of see, get a visual of what that place, what the building would look like with some outdoor gallery spaces out there. And Sadiq is going to be doing this performance to the sweet tunes of local band, The New Triumph. Shout out to Camille Estrada. Check it out. Whoa, did y'all just see what I just saw? That's what you can do at the Black and Tan Hall one of these days, is dance and have a good time and let yourself be free and fun and fancy and all those spectacular things. Thank you, Sadiqa, for that wonderful dance track, and thank you so much to the new Triumph for providing those vibes. All right, so, guys, there's a lot happening right now at Black and Tan Hall. January 2021 marked the first whole month in, the 5+ years that we can be called the owners of 5608 Rainier Avenue South. To be forever, as far as we can, as much as we can make it happen, forever known as Black and Tan Hall. The building was built in 1921, so this year marks its 100th year anniversary, its 100th year in existence, and it needs some new things, So we're gonna try and spruce it up and put on some new clothes to our building that's new to us. And so, through money from the EDI, Equitable Development Initiative grant, and monies from For Culture and the Department of Neighborhood Matching Fund, we have what we need to get our doors open safely and successfully, hopefully in the beginning, if not the end of this year. And while a lot of work is around renovations, like sprinklers and some foundation work, and general improvements, as well as some special ornaments, we're also doing a lot of programming. So we're bringing you virtual events like this one here, which we did one back in December, if you recall. We're producing a Seattle Green Book Historic Tour and Storytelling phone app, for the ID and Central District. Because we have been doing a lot of research on, the Black and Tan Club that was at the corner of 12th and Jackson. And so, part of the work that we want to do is uncover more stories and more of the connections of what Seattle has been over the years. So we're doing that. We're also working in coalition with other organizations in South Seattle to foster and actualize other arts and culture building acquisitions. These buildings do more than just tell the stories. They have to receive them first, and then they have to hold them. And all of this work that we're trying to do with this coalition work with other organizations and other folks and other people, it lends itself to making sure that everyone has the ability to live safely, to love safely, and tell the stories to the walls that will receive them and hold them and pass them on. And so, so much of this work isn't just about opening our own building, but making sure that there's a blueprint and a model so that other folks have the same opportunities and maybe a little bit easier road to acquiring that building. So that's just a tidbit of what we're going to do. I'll tell you a little bit more later on some of those specific things. But up next is another one of our artists, Betty Allen, and she makes some really terrific handcrafted glow lights. And I really love her bio, which basically describes how fascinated she's been with light her whole life, and how that's translated into a career working in the thing that has been such a curiosity to her. From patterns made on her walls from afternoon sun when she was a kid, or glow-in-the-dark stickers, or the way candles light in the vases that they're in. What I love most is that she's, again, translated this love into over a quarter century of working with light in various disciplines, like in film and TV and photography. And so I think it's always really something when you can live your work, when you're doing something that feeds your curiosity and your passion, and in this case, for Betty, a deep and intimate relationship with light and how it makes us feel. And I think that's a really cool thing, how we create the light and the settings in our house You know, especially when we're like looking at screens all the time, as you're doing right now. Don't stop doing it, because you need to be watching this. But like, how do we control lights that we're not saturating ourselves with it, but we're able to bask in it. So check out our site. Next, I'm gonna tell you about another way that you guys can spend some of your money. That's right. Black and Tan Hall has got some new merch. So I'm going to just guide you through some of the purchases that you can make by clicking this link on your screen. Well, you can't click it on the screen, but you can type it into the screen on your own device, however you want to type it in. On your screen, you can get some of these things. First, pretty basic, pretty simple. We've got a series of coffee cups. Everybody drinks coffee. You don't even if you don't drink coffee, you can put water in here, tea, cider, juice, hot chocolate, or other things. So you can see we got some stuff here. This is a hoodless sweatshirt. Nice color, nice feel. We also have some hooded sweatshirts. We also have tote bags. It comes in white, comes in a bunch of different colors. So we'll change the colors. So there'll be limited time offers on certain colors. So make sure you get your tote bag. This is a nice big bag too. Like, you can fit a bunch of stuff in the bag. It's got some room. This is your very own Black and Tan Hall pillow for when you just need something soft to have with you. You can get this pillow. It goes on a plane, it goes on a couch, it goes on a bed, it goes in a car. It goes just about anywhere. It can go in that tote bag. You can put it in the tote bag, then you can take it in the car. All kinds of stuff. We got a bomber jacket. Now, you saw me in an interview with Malia wearing this bomber jacket. Trying to look super fly. It's a nice lightweight summer jacket. You know you want to get this. I know you do. I can see it. I can just see it in your eyes right now. You want this. And you're definitely going to want to get this jacket when you see what I got else in store for you. Your very own Black and Tan Hall Vans sneaker. Check that out. Isn't that dope? It's so fresh and so clean. In this next little segment, I just want to kind of take a little time to remind you about some of the other things that I had mentioned before. First, we're working on a Seattle Green Book tour app. Effectively, a little tour on your map, a little tour on your phone that you can take around to the ID or the CD and check out, different businesses or buildings of historical note and significance. The original Green Book was a directory compiled of businesses that would gladly accommodate African American patrons. And for some Seattle businesses listed in the Green Book, we've found really fascinating stories. For some, we use businesses as a jumping off point for talking about, other forces in Seattle, such as black migration or the effects of prohibition on some of these businesses that we're talking about. And, we're building it as a living app, hoping that as we continue to reach out for more stories, we'll gain a little bit more insight and can update and change the app if needed to let people know, kind of what we've learned, not just from the academic book side of things, but from the more personal storytelling parts and aspects that often get left out of those history books. So, keep an eye out for the Green Book Tour. We're really excited. We're doing some stuff in Mohai everybody likes flowers, and one of our events that we're going to be doing on a monthly basis is partnering with the Hmong flower farmers of Washington, and we'll be doing monthly bouquet sales. So, every month, I think it's on the second Saturday of every month, we'll be setting up a little booth in front of our business with some flowers, so you can come and freshen up your house with some beautiful flowers for the week. It's just an easy way for us to do a little fundraiser, but also just kind of like spread some beautiful cheer out into the world. So check us out for that. Okay, up next is our last artist spotlight and interview with the lovely Amaranta. She wears a lot of hats and is a mixed media artist. She is an educator, a curator, a business owner. She stays really, really busy, and it was really fascinating to hear her talk about some of the projects that she's doing and how she thinks about art. So again, here she is telling her own story.
Well, thank you for the Black and Tan for having me for the second time in a row, virtually. As we all know, we used to have this in person, but I found that more and more often, it's hard to gauge virtually, because with this platform, I personally been reaching out other sites that it didn't even occur to me. So yeah, the borders are no longer a problem when it comes to like reaching out and having your art being displayed. So that's one of the benefits, I guess, of COVID, on a positive note. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. It's I think it's challenged a lot of people that maybe aren't artists, right? And helped recognize how much art and music and dance and those kind of soul fulfilling things are missing out of people's lives. But it also gives artists an opportunity to recognize that, like, we're not just subject to our local boundaries, but now we have this whole world that we can reach out to really easily.
I never thought that I was going to be brought in to other states to teach what I teach in Seattle, very specific programs, bilingual cultural programs that I can bounce back and forth in Spanish. I can, share, do a project, engage with the public. Our coffee, Onda Origins. Please go visit. And so that is something that I am more carefully like adding elements. It's almost like a compilation of all these different things that I've been doing in the last couple of years. I did a poster for what's it called? It's Washington State Immigration Network, which is just an organization that helps, my people. So I was very honored. I've been volunteering for a handful of nonprofits that disappear, Casa de Artes, the Latinx La Sala, and we're just not there, sadly. So part of me, it's like I'm still advocating, not that much on the arts education, which I had for many, many years, but now just like a space, a platform for, the Latinx in Seattle or around Seattle or in the South End or in King County to come together just to celebrate us. Mm-hmm.
And, as a person who uses their Mexican heritage as inspiration for some of the work that you do, mm-hmm. What does folk art mean to you?
Yeah, so the school that I went, there's only one school. It's Instituto Nacional de Bellas Artes, and it's it's a school subsidized by the government, and it has theater, music, art, and different things to do, like to learn, like jewelry, stained glass, textiles, and based on all these different, like credits that I needed to take. It was just a lot of history that I didn't know. Like, a good example I can give you, that textiles, right? Mexico is very famous for textiles. And when you see the purple yarn or the thread, You had no idea where that things come from. Well, it turns out that it comes from shell from like a sea creature that they have to dive in the Pacific, like down in Oaxaca, and they smush that. It's almost like a type of squid, and that's how they do the ink. That's one color that I didn't know. And the red, it's also with the bug. They collect the bugs and then they smush that and then they just dye, that. So I want to bring into these classrooms or into these experiences, recreate that, like almost as if we were there. This is, what it's for.
So I have a couple more questions.
Mhm,
Um, on the front page of your website,
mhm,
you have a quote from Picasso
mm,
that says, "The purpose of art is washing the dust of a daily life off our souls."
mhm,
In your own words, like how do you describe the purpose of
mhm.
your art?
Well, during COVID, mental health for sure. I doing something always just like occupational with my hands, and it's also an open dialogue for whoever wants to come and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then you're like, "Oh, yes, we're doing here." So yes, through art, you can start off just not even through, yeah, through an activity, you can start conversations too. And the other quote that I said too quite often is that art is also a tool for social change. So that you can see it in different, from different corners, but it's just as important as any other, art form or career, because doctors are very important, lawyers are very important. But I think the creative industry, you name it, any other art form, it's so important for your well-being, especially in times like this.
All right, folks. We're coming down to our last little segment here. I just want to thank you all so much for spending time with us today and hopefully buying a bunch of these artists' works and wares and supporting our local creative economy. This is our last video that we're going to do. It's a cover from the late 1970s British rock band Sniff and the Tears. Um, and it's one of our partners and our lead singer for this song, Karen Stringer, said she used to listen to this song back in the day, and so she was really excited to bring it to our ears, and it was a lot of fun to play. These songs were played in Black and Tan Hall. We cleared some of the room and played on the stage, so we're trying to give some energy and feed some new life into these old floors. So again, thanks everybody for hanging out with us today. Hope you had fun, bought a few things, and got a little bit more excited for what Bath has got coming up around the corner there. I know I can't wait to see y'all in person. Till the next time, peace and have a good summer. Stay safe out there.